This is sort of your heads up display for your trading day. Come into this page, you'll check your progress. You can see how many days you've traded. You can hop into any previous day on this calendar. You can see all the basic stats and rules for your account and where you're at in terms of progress. There's some connection settings if you need to connect to a platform. And then you can look at the individual days, the stats for each of these. We've got a prep process and everything's built in. So we would want you to fill out these questions. How are you feeling today? Exactly which emotions you're feeling for that day. Keep track of these things. So later on, there's reporting and you can start to see those correlations. Every time I'm marking myself as sleepy and I trade, I don't do well. And that's affecting my balance over time. I'm not performing as well as I could. These are the kinds of things you want to do as any pro athlete. And a lot of people look at trading as something like a pro athlete. This is what we would have you do in the beginning, prep before you trade, look over the market. The platform is built in. I'll go ahead and take a trade. Flip over to the screen first. So let's
Order
go along
field
here. So now what you can see is this is our system and this is the platform. But we sync all these trades into our system, which gives you the ability to not wait until later to categorize your trades. Normally, you would take a trade, wait till after you're done trading, export a file out of the system, maybe sign up for a third-party service, put your trades into that system, and then start categorizing. So we wanted to skip that. So what we did is, again, you take a trade, it shows up instantly in real time in our system, and you can come in here and say, okay, this was my range day demand strategy. That's a pattern I saw. And I had patience on the entry. And let's close that. Done. So I've done my work for that trade. I can use that information now to track it over time. If I close the platform now, I could glance here. I could hop back on previous days and see the trades I took by clicking on the calendar over here on the right. I can open up individual trades here. So here's a trade. It's going to pull up the chart. So this is all just built in, but I can see this was a couple long entries and then exits for a small win. I can come in here. So this is just another view where you can get more detail on all the individual times I executed on the market for this trade. I can take notes. If you wanted to take a screenshot of this, I could take a screenshot of that and paste it into the notes. If you've ever used Notion before, our editor is very similar to Notion. It supports a lot of the same functionality. You can embed YouTube videos in here if you're recording. You can also tag and set up from this view as well. Where do setups and tags come from? They're going to come from you. There's a lot of different places you can find some strategy. What you want to do with that strategy and edge is view it through your own eyes. This is where in our system, you can start building out your strategies. And what's cool is you can come in here, build out your strategy, come in here and create some categories and rules. And these will show up as checkboxes. So you can see I have pre-trade category. I'm looking for high relative volume as a rule and after 12 p.m. But then I have a trade management category, take 1 micro on momentum and a second micro to target. If we come back here, let's just this one's a range day demand. If I open this up, you'll see while I was taking the trade, this is the screenshot that I took earlier when I opened up the trade, and you can see these checkboxes exist. So now if you can imagine, you're in the morning, you're taking the trade. Now you can say, okay, all right, I have high relative volume. You can be very concise about it. Now you're coming in with a plan, and planning couldn't be more important if you're trying to make this thing last. If you're on an institutional desk, you're going to be taking some organization to your trades. You're going to be doing a lot more paperwork than you probably think you'd be doing when you're at home, you're by yourself. You don't usually have that support network. You don't have someone pushing you. If you don't do the work, no one's going to say anything. So we're hoping to put this in your hands. It'll never be as enjoyable as clicking a trade and just making $1,000 really quick. We can't compete with that from a marketing standpoint, but this will improve your trading. This will let you know what you're doing and let you track it. So again, playbooks, you have setups, tags. Let's say you did 2 negative things. You chased the entry and you had FOMO. Track it, write it down. This is part of journaling. This is important. Your daily goals are another thing. So when you come in here and you're doing your prep, select your daily goals from the ones you typically use. And you could say, don't get in a trade until your setup shows, and I want to wait between trades. These are my goals for the day. These are my process goals that are super important to me because I want to get better. I don't want to just end the day in failure on chance and then be like, what did I learn from that day? Well, nothing, because I didn't improve my process. I didn't follow my process. These things matter. If you don't want to get stuck failing and wasting months and months, make use of all the time you put into the market. Every hour matters. Be very specific about how you spend your time. Let's hop over here now. So we have notebooks. These notebooks will allow you to not only review the notes that you've made on individual trades, but it'll allow you to view the daily notes for a day, as well as you can create your own notebooks, your own folders in here. You can create a notebook here. So I could create one called Minx. I can give it that color, and I can come in here, and then I can create notes, and I could, again, screenshots, YouTube videos. We even have a nice little annotation. So I can talk. Hello, how are you? I am talking to my computer. So if you prefer not to type, you can use that. A lot of little cool features we've added in here. I'll just go over now to the reports page. So on the reports page, this is where you dive deep. So all that work we did was for a reason. Doing the work lets you have the reporting. There is still reporting that's going to happen if you're not tagging your trades and not doing the setups and doing all that. But you're going to get the most out of our system if you do this work. When you come into the reports, you'll find it has as many or more features in the reporting as what you'll pay for $50 for a third-party service, except for this is instant. It's automatic. You don't have to manually do anything. It'll just show up, and it shows up in real time. So even after you take a single trade, you can hop over here and you can start digging into these stats. This page is going to give you an overview in a lot of different vectors. So you're going to be able to look at this and say, okay, this is a high level. This is all bad test data. So hopefully it doesn't look like this, but you can look at your win rate. You can move these around if you prefer. These are your metrics. This is how you get better. This is how you look at what you're doing and not do it in a way where you have recency bias. Traders tend to look at the last 2-3 days and they think that's who I am as a trader. I stopped all my bad habits. My last account that I blew, that was a different me. Now I'm this trader. And they go on a winning streak and they think everything's cured and they're good to go. That's generally not what happens. What you want to do is you want to look at statistics. This is what you do in all areas of life. This is what almost every vertical in industry, not just trading, does. By using this information, by looking at your profit factor, by understanding, hey, every time I have 3 losses in a row, I tend to have 8 losses in a row next. I don't have any wins. So that might be a cue to say, hey, after 3 losses in a row, I should probably pause trading, or better, maybe I should stop for the day because I'm not going to recover. I'm not going to start getting green after this because maybe it's a psychology issue. This is where you can kind of find that information. We've got a simulator, which this is fantastic. We use it all the time. What this lets us do is this is your current P&L, right? So this would be the person's P&L over time. Now you can start playing with all your data and you can get a instant visualization of, let's say, okay, I've been trading micro ES. Let's just get rid of micro ES because it looks like I have a really low win rate on it. So what would happen if I just didn't trade the MES? Now, the simulated line is the dash line. The solid line is the original. So now you're going to start to see, okay, I should stop trading that. I should cut out CTP long. That's not a good strategy for me. Don't trade in the middle of the night. Cut out the early week. You start to get the idea. Now you're starting to see, how's this affect my P&L? That's what we're going for here. So you can start cutting out what's bad and get that visualization. So not only do you see the data here, you're seeing it in a way that's letting you make better choices. You'll think about this while it's happening. We have tons of reports in here. Again, it's all just included, all free. We do something called MAE, MFE. So a lot of the props aren't going to have this. Even a lot of the statistical programs aren't going to have this. But we'll calculate your unrealized drawdown and your unrealized profits while you're in the trade. And then this is still sort of part of the beta here, but you can dive deeper into it and see when I go into $800 of drawdown in a trade, I tend to always end up losing that trade. I might bring it back to 600. That's my best case scenario. So that might tell you really don't want to go past $600 in loss. Because once you get past that, it's sort of a critical mass for you. And then you start continuing to give it back to the market. So those are kind of questions that you can get answered by MAE, MFE. Because normally when you see someone's calendar and they're like, hey, look, I'm green all week, that's hiding the fact that maybe they went into $2,000 of drawdown, but then recovered before the day was over. I'll just show you these quick things. So we have the economic calendar that's built in. News is extremely important to watch while you're trading. Right here on the dashboard, it says 11.2 hours, and that's letting me know in 11 hours, that's the next news event. I can open this up. I can see the event. See that's in 11 hours. I can hover over these and see when these are coming up, Friday, Monday. You can filter it by different countries. If you're trading currency pairs, that could matter to you. And we've even added this alert so you can add it to your calendar. So if this news event's important for you, go ahead, add it to your calendar, and you can set up your normal Outlook style or Gmail calendar notifications, and they can go to your phone and everything like that. We've added a whole recording system in. Within this browser, you can come in here and you can start recording. Now I'm recording this screen. You can see a little preview down here. I can come in here, trade my normal, take a trade.
Order field.
I'm talking, just so you know. I'm just talking for the purposes of something you'll see in a second. Then let's add to the
Order
trade.
field.
And this looks like it's going to run. See a little push. All right, let's
Order
just get out of that.
field.
So you can see right here, we're in an active recording. I can pop back here. I can stop the recording. This is the recording we just did. But what you can see that's different about if you would have just recorded it with your own recording software, you can see that we've embedded not only the transcripts of what I was saying. I'm recording this screen. You can see a little preview down here. We record the transcripts, translate it to text on your system, and we even overlay the orders. On the timeline here, you can see I talked. There was an entry, I talked some more, and then there was an exit. So now you don't just have a video file sitting on your computer that you have to, scan through to find things. You can pull this up anytime and just go, okay, I want to see what I was doing during this entry. Let's just pop this open so it's a little bigger and go to this order and hit play. And I can see right where I took the order. Really important. So we suggest everybody needs to record their trades. Now we've made it easier for you to do so. We're trying to put this right in front of you. Just click the button. We'll do all the work. Take your trades during the day. Talk to your computer through your microphone. When you come back and you're done with your recording, you'll be able to review your trades, see where your mouse was, see what the chart looked like exactly while you're here. Again, this is showing in real time. If I start recording this screen, you can see a little preview down here. I can come in here, trade my normal. So when it gets to the trade, you're going to see the trade pop up here as if you were in your trading platform. So then you can come in here, and this is where you can start doing your tagging and your setups. So this is just another way you can either do the journaling while you're trading. You can do the journaling later on your own by looking at the charts and pulling up this screen, or you can hop into the recording and go right to the spot where you took the trade and go, okay, that was this setup, and I'm going to categorize it. So we're trying to give everybody some flexible ways that fits their style best to do the work. Another thing might seem silly to some people, but there are many studies that show that listening to music, especially without words, is very beneficial for focus. So what we're doing is we're building a radio station. And so it's just yet another thing that you can do that improves your performance, that isn't going to take your time away to, one, remember to do it, and two, even get distracted by which music should I listen today? And just look, hit lo-fi, have some music come in, keep it the volume you like, and get to work. You might imagine you start your music in the day, you come into your morning prep, you answer the questions about yourself, get some introspection. Hopefully I'm painting a picture for you. Come in here, build your market biases for the day, open up your platform and be, okay, on MGC, I'm long over, let's say, 39.68. I'm bullish. So now I've done my morning prep. I can flip to trading. Let's say the market went over my level. I can review it. I can just pop over here and see all my notes, and then I can take the trade.
Order field.
I see the trade come in. I can tag it, take the setups.
Order field.
We're not just trying to leave you left hanging and say, here's your connection, here's your platform, hope you don't fail. Because to be honest, a lot of prop firms, that's their model. If you don't do well, then they do better. We're trying to take the opposite approach, put you in live accounts quicker, which forces our hand and our process and our whole system to be all about improving the traders. A lot of cool extras in here. We have a risk calculator. This is just a way where you can pick different products and do some calculations to figure out the number of contracts you should be using on a particular trade. We have this cool thing called the losing streak probability matrix. So this looks kind of crazy at first, but we're trying to, again, make you visualize expectations, because expectations are very important in trading. You don't want to think that you're going to have a perfect track record with no drawdown. With a 50% win rate over the course of 100 trades, your likelihood of having 10 trades that are losses in a row is close to 10%, right? Your likelihood of having 5 losses in a row in 100 trades, if you have 50% win rate, is 96%. If you have 5 trades in a row that are a loss, what's going to happen? You do not want to go back to YouTube. You don't want to go searching for a new strategy. You want to stay the course. you want to adjust. You might need to adjust, maybe not. You don't want to adjust in the middle of the day. You don't want to adjust mid-trade. But you want to take that information and go, okay, it was 5 losses in a row. That can happen. But let me look back and see, am I executing the strategy properly? If I am, okay, I'm still within a safe boundary. This is normal. And probably continue to take your trades. So this gives you a way to look at different winning percentages. And then this is just giving you sort of a randomized expectation for what your risk to reward is and your win rate and the number of trades. This is what you should expect from your P&L over time. So again, expectation that 50% win rate, you're going to have these drawdown periods. So you're going to have good times and you're going to do well overall, but you're going to have to experience these drawdown periods. And you don't want that to scare you and make you change your process. That's just not going to help you. We're going to be building a lot more of these calculators. And we've got one that just shows all the products. So you can come through and see, which products have the most liquidity, price per tick. We've got the passing simulator. This is new. So this runs something called a Monte Carlo simulation. And this gives you a way to show you expectations. If I had a 50% win rate, a $3,000 drawdown, and I was risking $250 per trade, and I was trying to go to a $6,000 target, right? This would be all the different possibilities that could happen. Multiple losses and then a winner and then more multiple like every combination, actually 10,000 combinations in sequence. This would be the average of all combinations. This would give you a sense of your likelihood of reaching the target, your likelihood of landing short on those 82 trades, coming to break even, or even risk of ruin. And what you'll notice is if I start risking more per trade, you're going to start seeing your risk of ruin go up more. And if I start reducing the win rate, you're going to see it go up even more. So this is trying to give you an idea of, again, if you executed perfectly on this, these are your expectations. You prep, you take your trades, you do the work. At the end of the day, you go to close out. This is going to show trades I took that are missing setups. So this gives me an opportunity to come in and make sure I tag these with the setup. Okay, all trades have valid setups. I can see just a quick, I took these 3 trades, $95 profit. And then I can come in here and grade myself on my trading performance. So let's say I feel like I did pretty good on everything. Good risk management, good emotional control. See the little thing goes off. Here's the daily goals we talked about. This is the ones I chose as a trader. You can create your own daily goals that matter to you. When you work with our coaches, we'll give you suggestions based on what you're telling us about your trading and what we see from the reports. So you can come in here and you can grade yourself on how well you did and hop over here to the grade. And I can get a little result showing excellent work. A, total trades taken. I can see what I did. We're always happy to answer questions. We're always happy to hop on a call with someone. We're trying to help everyone in the space. Hopefully by helping you, you end up in our accounts doing well. And that's who we are.